Hello, my name is Landa Marina. How are you doing today? If you've already been here to my channel, thank you. I really appreciate your support. And if this is your first time, I'll tell you a little more about myself and what this video is about. Something about myself is I am a single mother and have been for over a decade. And I've learned so much along the way. There are so many things that can go wrong along our parenting journeys, but I knew when I became a mother, but especially when I realized I had the responsibility almost of two parents, it felt like, on my shoulders, I felt even more so that I had to get it right. I wanted to be like the best mom I could be. And along my journey, I realized now, but not necessarily a decade ago, I wish I would have known a decade ago, what I'm going to share with you. That's the number one thing as a mother I urge you to know about yourself, is that you want to always be learning about yourself, your values, your belief systems, because you being fully you is what's going to give your child, your children, the foundation to be the best selves, themselves that they can be. They're not going to be carbon copies of you. They're not going to be programmed by you to be robots. Being able to see you stand in your truth, stand in exploration of life, and stand in something other than just, I have to pay these bills, I'm a parent, and this is the religion I am, and that's it, that's me, that's mom and dad, that's it. You know, being able to allow them to see, experience you as a human being. They might not even know what your hobbies are. They might not know what your belief values are if I ask them to articulate it. But the energy that comes from a person who understands those things about themselves, it speaks for itself. It changes the dynamic of the room when they walk in. That is the benefit of being a human being and knowing you're worthy to be a mom, or you're worthy to be a dad, or you're worthy of being a human deserving love, is because we all have the ability to shift the energy when we walk in a room. We don't have to say a word, but it's an experience. You are an experience. Most of you parents can agree with me already that being able to have an open ear and not to be so closed-minded is the best thing you can do for yourself and your child as a parent, because it allows you not to be so tight. Because when you're tight, let's say like tight-fisted with money, my grandmother used to say. If you're tight-fisted with money, no money can come in, no money's going to go out, but no money's coming in either. And the same thing is with knowledge. If you're tight-fisted and you're like, oh, I've been taught this way. This is the only way it's done. This is how it's supposed to be. You whip your kids. That's it. That's what I did, so that's what we're doing. You know, if that's how you are with your parenting journey, you are exhausting yourself for someone else's beliefs. And again, however, the person that taught you those beliefs on how children should be treated, how they should be taught, how they should be handled, how they should be communicated with, the person that taught you that, they have already shown you what it's like to stand in your truth of something, to make something your truth and pass it along to your child, right? The thing is, oftentimes from the past generations, things have been passed down that aren't so great and have actually been very dangerous for families and dangerous for children, and they've had to do a lot of healing from. So it's important to not be so closed-minded when it comes to what is your parenting values. And so that's where I sort of started, I was doing the work, because you got to be willing to do the work to revamp your mind and not think of things only one-dimensionally, you know? We're not one-dimensional people. We're a people who need variety. We don't eat the same things every day. We don't drink the same things every day. We don't typically want to do the same things all the time. Now, always exceptions to the rule. But we don't typically do that. Why is that? Because life is not meant to be that way. No day is like the last, no matter how much you try. And so the same thing goes with our knowledge intake. What are you taking in, parents, as your values and your belief systems because you've tested and tried them and know they're true? Versus are you taking it in because it was passed down to you? There are things that I know that all of us have learned or had passed down to us in our families that are negative, that we don't agree with. You know, and if we have to be able to be okay with realizing, the way I just disciplined her, the way I just acted, I didn't like that. Doesn't mean I'm a bad mom. Doesn't mean that I am not fit to be a parent. It means I'm human. And so that's why it's really important to be ready to be open-minded and not closed-minded. So I digress. The parenting course I'm taking is a 5-day course, and her name is Megan Ford. I'll have to put the link below because I know she has a podcast. And she worked with children for over 14 years trying to teach a balance in parenting. And so far, I really appreciate what she said. I really do. And this is something I wanted to read to you that opened her eyes about discipline and children. I know you'll be able to get something from this. She says, "It was in the first exercise that my jaw dropped and my entire life perspective shifted when I realized that there was a profound difference between disciplining a child and punishing them. It was the single quote that my entire paradigm shifted, and that quote was this." It's a quote by Haim Ginott. I don't know how to pronounce this name, but I will put it up here on the screen. The quote says this: "I have come to the frightening conclusion that I am the decisive element. It is my personal approach that creates the climate. It is my daily mood that makes the weather. I possess tremendous power to make life miserable or joyous. I can be a tool of torture or an instrument of inspiration. I can humiliate or humor, hurt or heal. In all situations, it is my response that decides whether a crisis is escalated or de-escalated, and a person is humanized or dehumanized. If we treat people as they are, we make them worse. If we treat people as they ought to be, we help them become what they are capable of becoming." You might have to pause and rewind this a few times. You might have to pause and read it on the screen. What I want you to know in reading this is something I've thought of and have been amazed by women for before I could articulate why. And it is right here where it says, "It is my personal approach that creates the climate." That's what makes you amazing. Because we are givers. We give children, right? We give joy, play, fun. When someone dates a woman, what are they expecting? Typically, the feminine role is to make things Horrible? Angry? No. That might be your experience with some females. But what I'm saying is, we typically are the accessory. When you read books or even, the Bible, you will hear the valleys and dips and dives of the valleys mentioned as she or her. And that is because we have a certain beauty to us that is breathtaking to those who are aware, to are able to be a part of it. I say all this to say, if you are struggling with your children, somehow there's a serious power struggle, they're not listening, things are not working, and you just keep going harder and tighter and trying to do the same things. You've been consistent, you're doing the same things, and everyone says, well, you need to wear them out, or you need to be more consistent, or you're not doing this, you're not. Remember who you are, because it says, and I believe this, it's your personal approach that creates the climate wherever you are, but especially in your home with your children that share your DNA. Your personal approach is one that they can relate to. And so if it's negative and it's angry and it's frustrated, they're going to relate to that because that's a part of them as it's a part of you. If it is pleasant and, okay, let me take a breath. Let me think before answering that. Give me a second. And then you respond with joy in your heart and good intentions of letting them know that they're being heard. Now they can relate to that because that's also a part of them, because it's a part of you and you are a part of them. So oftentimes as a single mom, I felt so hopeless, doing the best I can do, and yet it seemed like somehow my child was becoming more difficult, and I couldn't understand why. I didn't realize the power I held in setting the climate. She was becoming more difficult because I was becoming more frustrated. And I was becoming more frustrated because I was thinking in black and white to-do list of this has to happen. This is the only way. I don't see any way out of it. And that's, of course, because we oftentimes don't take time for ourselves to realign, readjust, get to us, and just be us. Not mom, but Landon, Marina, and into your name here. Just you. Who were you at 10 years old? Who were you at the happiest time in your life? What were elements that made you happy? Without being able to be in touch with that part of ourselves, we lose ourselves in the things that need to be done. The black and white thought process of this must be and this must be, and if they're not listening to me, then this is just falling apart, and what will we do? I'm already struggling. I'm a single mom. I'm trying. I'm running out of time to teach them. They're getting older and it's just getting worse. What's happening is you need to calm down, and I don't mean that in the way that we hate to hear it. What I mean is we got to reevaluate. As a mother, as a person, you constantly should be growing. You constantly should be adding to your bucket, constantly filling up that gas tank, and you're going to be okay. Okay? So I just wanted to share that quote I've learned and think about how we can use our discipline on us. And that discipline can be to reassess. Okay? And think about what's making you so angry. Think about what's frustrating you. Regroup, realize it's not them, and do it differently. Okay? Set the tone. Take care of yourself.